In March of 2020, the first COVID lockdown started for where I live. I'm in Canada here, and I was at home, bored, had nothing to do, and this is the period of time where I started getting into lifting weights. Now, I'd always been into sports. I've been playing soccer, basketball, doing martial arts for a number of years, and I've been doing CrossFit for a little bit as well. But I never had the goal of putting on as much muscle as possible because one, I was really skinny to start with, and I didn't think that it was really possible for me. And two, I just never been exposed to the training of weightlifting just for the purpose of getting stronger and putting on muscle. And since I was a basketball player, I figured I should be bigger. So I started my journey in weightlifting, and I have made so many mistakes down the line, and I'm making this video so you can learn from those mistakes I've made and you won't make the same ones. Now, when I started lifting weights, I was 14 and I was 5'2" and I was 95 pounds. I'm now 18, 5'11", and 185 pounds. So I've put on 90 pounds through my weightlifting journey in a matter of 3.5 short years. Judging by my starting position, I'm sure you can guess that I am a fairly skinny guy by nature, and I've always been really lean. I had abs from when I was like 9, but putting on muscle was not easy for me. I've always been a good runner and I've always been athletic, but putting on muscle was not easy. I had to make a lot of changes to my life in order to optimize the muscle that I was gaining. And it took me a few months to actually start seeing real good progress, but watching this video is gonna help you learn what not to do. The first thing that is killing your gains is doing too much cardio. Now, being athletic and playing a lot of sports, I was always doing a lot of cardio. I was always practicing basketball, I was always running, and I was always playing soccer and training a lot of different aspects. But you cannot be an expert at both. You have to find the middle ground somewhere. And if your goal is to optimize how much muscle you have, then doing a bunch of hard cardio is not gonna help you. Your body cannot recover from both. If you're lifting weights and training really hard in the gym, then yes, it is very good to do cardio. It's gonna help your overall performance, and I think everyone should be doing cardio just for the benefits of health. But if you want to be as big as possible, then doing a whole bunch of cardio is not gonna help you. Believe me, I have tried. At the start of 2022, I began training for a marathon, and when you're running as much as I was, you can't keep packing on muscle. I was lucky that I didn't lose a whole bunch of muscle, so you cannot be Mr. Cardio and Mr. Weights. You have to pick the middle ground somewhere. Personally, I train like a hybrid athlete. I do a lot of weights and I do a lot of cardio because being as big as possible is not my goal. I have put on a good amount of muscle and I am happy with how my physique looks. Now I'm just trying to maintain the proportions that I have and be healthy. I love doing cardio, I enjoy it, and it just makes me feel good. But if you want to put on as much muscle as possible, you cannot be doing too much high intensity cardio. Number 2 is skipping meals, not eating enough, and going too long without eating. Now, I understand as a skinny guy that you might not have the biggest appetite. Trust me, I have been there, but you need to eat. You need to be in a calorie surplus if you want to put on muscle. It's just the way it is. You cannot expect to be in a deficit, be getting leaner, and even as you're a skinny guy, you cannot be putting on muscle like that. Yes, you can build muscle while you're in a deficit, but if you're skinny and you want to get bigger and you want to put on a lot of weight, then it's probably best to get your body fat to a higher percentage so you can actually build more muscle. I've always been really lean, and it's really hard to build muscle when you are 8-10% body fat. You can do it, and if you feel good at that body fat percentage like I do, then that's probably where you should stay if you like it. But if your goal is to put on as much muscle as possible, you should up your body fat percentage a little bit and bulk a little bit too. I'm not saying dirty bulk. I'm not an advocate for that, because if you're eating all that garbage, then you're literally gonna feel like shit all the time, and your workouts are gonna be worse, and you're just gonna feel worse in general, and that is not what we are trying to do at the gym. I believe that the gym should have a positive impact on your life, and it should not be something that is decreasing your quality of life. Even if you dirty bulk for 3 months, your 3 months are gonna be brutal, and you're not gonna feel good. So make sure you are eating enough. I eat 5 times a day. That is the perfect amount for me. Eating 4 times a day is good, eating 6 times a day is good, whatever is comfortable for you. Your body can only complete protein synthesis so many times. Make sure you're getting enough protein too. You have to be eating enough protein, at least 20 grams every meal. I go for 1 gram of protein per every pound of body weight at least. Since I eat so many calories, I'm more. My maintenance calories is about 4,000, and when I'm trying to put on muscle, I'm trying to get a little bit bigger, I eat a little bit more than that. So right now I'm eating 4,250 calories, and that's just good for me to put on a little bit of weight each month and maintain the body fat that I'm at and just keep progressively getting in better shape and putting on a little bit of muscle. Number 3 is trying to be too lean. Now, I've been there myself. As soon as I started to eat more and I saw myself getting a little more body fat, I'd want to cut, because my ego was telling me that if I put on any fat that I'd be worthless. And that's just the way my mind was working at the time, because I figured that I needed to be lean and look a certain way. I think some people call it ab anxiety, which is a good phrase for it, that if I wasn't as shredded as I was, it's really hard to be really lean and put on a good amount of muscle. It's very, very hard, especially when you're natural. The rule of thumb that I go for is, if you feel good at the body fat percentage you're at and you feel like you have energy and your workouts are good, then stay there. But if you feel tired all the time and you feel like your workouts aren't the best and you're just not seeing the progress you want to, then up your body fat percentage a little bit. If you feel like you have a good amount of energy, that's probably a good place for you to stay. Don't overcomplicate this. Whatever body fat percentage you feel good at, stay there. That is probably the best way to do things. Wherever you feel comfortable and wherever you feel like you're making good progress, that's where you should stay. But do not try and be too lean. It's a problem that I've had, and it's gonna ruin your gains. Number 4 is a big one, and it's neglecting sleep. Now, so many people my age, and I'm gonna guess your age, is if you're a young person as well, they don't sleep properly. Your body needs to recover, and your body needs time to actually build muscle. When you're working out, that's when you're breaking down the muscle. When you're sleeping and resting, that is when you're building the muscle back up. And if you're going to bed at 1, 2 a.m. every single morning, and then you have to get up early for school and work, you have not slept enough, and you're gonna notice this. If you're neglecting your sleep and you're not taking care of this aspect of your life, then you are not gonna make progress. If you're out partying and drinking every single weekend, then you are not gonna make progress. Yes, in the beginning, you'll see a little bit because you have your newbie gains, and that's just the way it is, but eventually it's gonna catch up to you, and you're gonna start seeing people who are actually taking care of their sleep and focusing on that aspect. They're going to be making more progress than you. It's an essential part of the process as well. You need good training, good diet, and good sleep. Those are the 3 things. If you have those, then you will see progress, but you need to make sure you're taking care of your sleep schedule. I have another video that I'll put up here somewhere, and it's about how to fix your sleep schedule. I'm not going to go too into depth right now, but basically make sure you're sleeping at least 8 to 10 hours, and try to have a sleep schedule that you can maintain every single day. If waking up at 5:30 in the morning is not for you, then don't wake up at 5:30 every single morning. If you feel good waking up at 7 o'clock, then do that. But just make sure you're going to bed and at a reasonable hour, so you actually have enough time to get a good sleep. Number 5, and the last one, is pretty simple. It's not training hard enough. If you are holding back and just going through the motions in the gym, then you are not going to see progress. Yes, you might see a little bit at the beginning because you have your noob gains, because you're lucky, and that's just the way it is at the beginning. But if you're not training hard, then you're not going to see progress. You cannot train like a pansy and expect to see any noticeable progress. You can't just go to the gym and show up and think that's going to be enough. In the beginning, yeah, that's enough. You got to progressively overload it. But if you've been going for a little while and you're training at the same intensity that you were when you first started, then you're not going to see progress. You need to actually put some effort in, and you need to be focused on your workout. You can't be just thinking about other things, being on your phone for 5 minutes in between sets and have your mind wandering all over the place. You need to focus on your workout while you're doing that. You need to be working out when it's time to work out, and you need to go hard. I'm not saying you need to be David Goggins, but none of us are, but you need to actually put some effort into it. My key for this is find a good training partner and find someone who's going to push you. For me, it's best if there's someone who's stronger than me, because that's going to motivate me to catch up to where they are. And yes, I'm not going to go crazy with this and obsess over it and think I'm not as good as them because I don't lift the same amount of weights and I don't weigh as much, but it's pushing me to be better. If they did 15 in a set, I'm going to try and match that and go for more. And even if I don't get it, it's still inspiring me to push harder. So find a training partner who's going to push you to be better, not someone who's going to distract you in the gym and just ruin all your time and waste your time. Find someone who you get along with well and you enjoy training with, who's going to push you to the next level. I know these tips are pretty simple, but you'd be surprised how many people neglect these. And if you implement these into your training and you develop the mindset that you need around weightlifting, then you are going to see amazing progress in the gym, and it will change your life. Trust me when I tell you that fitness has been the biggest thing that's changed my life, and especially my confidence. It is so good for your mental health, and you're going to form so many good friendships through this newfound passion that you have. So I hope that you can take some value from this and not make the same mistakes I did. So best of luck on your journey.